going. Just here checking the splits. This is the first batch I did. They look pretty good. They've grown, and we're just doing queen checks as we go. So this is a batch of queens from Northern Ontario. And this one I think has almost got too much honey. There's pretty much an egg in every hole. And it's somewhat in danger of blocking out. Ironic, even though I'm knocking most of my hives down to no honey supers, I'm actually going to give this one a run. These are close to an alfalfa field that is making some honey. Let's look at another one here. Not quite so spectacular, but pretty solid, I'd say. The queen is certainly laying up a storm. That's a full frame of brood. As is that one. I don't know if you can get in there, Katie. You can see the little puddles at the bottom of the cells. So the question is whether it's grown beyond the 3 frames of brood I gave it. 1, 2, 3. Not especially yet. So these things are definitely looking like sort of glorified nukes, unless they maybe catch some drift like that one. But I think they'll winter well and be very low maintenance hives in the spring. Let's look at a couple more. That's quite nice. Looks like I have a good catch on my queens. Eggs galore. That's really, for a normal check, a good population. Maybe even a bit much, and there's eggs visible, so I'm quite happy with that. This one's quite small. I wouldn't be surprised if there's been a bit of drift. And that could be a sign that this queen hasn't taken. Well, except there's brood there like crazy. Well, now what do we do? That one's not big enough to be viable. The old switcheroo. Field force will go to this one, and that'll sort itself out. This one is, I'd say, just about what I want. A nice box of bees, nothing extra. Beautiful brood. Queens really hit the ground running. Very nice. Oh, there's the tag there. And this one, I think, wasn't really a split. I grabbed a honey super off of some hive. So that one, I didn't give it a queen when I was here before. And they're interesting, so that would have had bees in it, but with no dark comb and no brood, the bees drifted right away. So there was nothing left at all. There's nothing kind of to hold them. So that certainly illustrates the need when you're doing something like this to have some brood so the bees are held by that. They feel like it's home. Just white comb, they drift away at the first opportunity. All right, these look good. We've got a whole bunch to check. All right, here we're still checking these splits. We've got one a little small, but the queen is good. And this one looks good, but the queen didn't take for some reason. So we're just going to unite these together here. And just that newspaper to keep it from being too much of a shock. And that'll end up being a pretty darn good hive now. And some people, I don't know, I used to only do stuff like that in the spring, but I guess with bees being hard to get, you gotta use every trick in the book year round. And we have another queenless one there, and there is one marked weak back there somewhere. Let's do that right now. Overall, I'm quite pleased with these, but there's always a few that aren't going to work out. It's always good practice to mark your observations on the lid so that when you go, okay, now where was that weak one? I want to boost it. If you remember where it was. Okay, we'll keep going. Thank you. Okay, I'm just going to do a quick check on these. This is a hive that I took a split from, and I'm just curious how they've brooded up on those frames I dropped in. So this is one that would have stayed in the hive. This is one that was dropped in. They've added pollen, lots of eggs, larvae on that side. So that's one, two. This is the second frame full of larvae. Third one, just eggs there. Oh, and tons of eggs on that side. You can see this whole open area. It's just all eggs. So, and then back into the brood that was left. So they've made up for that brood I stole pretty easily. We took the split off the top, the two frames of the two boxes that we left. Still lots of bees. The honey flow is pretty much ending, but there's weight there. So we get 30-40 pounds of honey out of it. We'll put the escape down. And the honey right on top of that. let's look at another one. Like that. You can pretty much tell by looking, there'll be these three frames right here. Larvae and eggs galore. Middle frame, not quite so much. That one, I don't see much at all. So that's a little smaller. It's been left with a couple frames. That's the brood I would have left them with. So, I don't know, maybe that one got hurt a little harshly, but it doesn't seem to have bothered it too much. Oh, I don't want that anymore. Let's look at one more. The idea you can steal 3 frames of brood and a box of bees from these hives and not have it make it some difference is, that doesn't add up, but the critical question is whether I'm pushing these hives below viability, and I don't see any evidence of that. Eggs, both sides. Really hard to get on camera in this light. That one, that's a frame. Oh, hard to say, but I think that's one that was left behind. Here's the second one. Lots of eggs. They really socking the pollen in on that one. And lots of. No, this one must have stayed. 1, 2. So this one is one of the ones I gave, and it's already got maturing brood on it. So I'm pretty pleased with that. I think we'll have good hives with both the splits and the originals without too much difficulty. Okay, is there escape for this? And we put those escapes on, and the last honey box is on, and that's pretty much going to be the end of my honey season. Thanks a lot, everyone. Have a great day.